I'll be working at all shifts. And then, so I'm working Saturday.
Good afternoon. I'm going to call the Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting to order, and the first item would be roll call, please.
Mrs. Root,
Here.
Mrs. Hanchett,
Here.
Mr. Barnes,
Present.
Mr. Curran,
Here.
Mr. Havey,
Here.
Mr. Healy, Mr. Ricky,
Here.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales,
Here.
and Mr. Harris. 7 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the June 18th minutes, and I will entertain a motion for that.
Ricky will move. Havey will second.
Is there any further discussion on the minutes? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? So this motion's carried. I wanted to acknowledge that we have a monthly report from Ashley Smith, Director of Economic Development, Craig Clark, Industrial Development Agency, Keir Durham, Director of Planning, and Rita Sobek Lynch, Employment and Training Program Director, is included in our packet today. We're going to, if we have any questions, we can come back to that after we have our presentation. We do have a presentation today. It's the overview of the Business Retention and Expansion BRE program. And Michelle is going to give us this. I think we have a PowerPoint presentation. I'll turn it over to you, Michelle.
We do have a PowerPoint as long as I remember how to work the thing that Brenda gave to me. So today I'm going to talk about our Business Attraction, Retention, and Expansion program. Typically that's called a BEAR. In this case, I often refer to it as a BRE or a BRE because my main focus is the business retention and expansion piece. Ashley covers in detail the attraction because that takes so much work to do. So we kind of separate those instead of keeping them into one person, one program. There we go. Okay, so our agenda topics today, it's just going to be hopefully a quick recap of our economic development strategic plan framework and how the BRE fits into that, what a BRE is, our marketing efforts so far and what we plan to do in the future, the tools of the trade, things that we utilize to get the data and the information, and the benefits of the program, takeaways, conclusion. Is that on? Maybe I'm just not in the right spot. There we go. Okay. So this slide here just indicates our 9 foundational themes in our economic development functions. Those were identified in the Economic Development Strategic Plan that Camoin put together for us. The BRE relates to every single one of those topics. However, today, I'm just going to touch on the industry engagement and the opportunity sectors because BREs can be very complicated, and if I talked about every single one of those, we would be here all day long. So what is a BRE? And what does that mean, and what is it not? So who knows what a BRE program is here? Does anybody? Okay, so it's a unique tool. Every economic development agency, organization, county should have one. It's an engagement with your business community. Sensitive. There we go. Let's see. It's a business attraction tool. It gives you real-time business intelligence. You're talking one-on-one with your businesses, so you have the information you need to succeed and help them succeed. The main goal of the business retention is to provide that assistance with issues that could force a company to fail, close, or relocate. If you're not having that communication with them, you're not going to be aware until it's too late. So that piece is very important as far as retention. With expansion, it helps them grow. Some of our businesses, they're looking to expand, but they don't know how. They're looking for a different location, but they don't know who to contact. And so again, with that one-on-one information, you're talking to them. Sometimes it's once a year, sometimes it's 6 months. It really just depends on what that business needs, and it's unique to every single business. And so this is our BRE roadmap. Looks a little bit complicated because the program is very complicated, and it is very different for every business that you're meeting with. Again, sometimes it's just that conversation, letting them know that we are here and that we're interested in what they're doing and their accomplishments. Sometimes it's data-driven. They need help. They want to know what their, what their door traffic is, or if they're losing business, if they're gaining business, if another business opening has had a positive or negative impact on them. And it really takes all of these steps to go through the entire thing. It's also a regional approach. So while I am the main contact when I'm reaching out to these businesses and having those communications, I am not the one giving them all of the answers. I don't know everything. And so we have a very strong partnership that we're growing with all of our regional entities, with Southern Tier West and Accord and Cornell Cooperative, so that everyone, is meeting together on a monthly basis. And I make sure that the business community is given the right contact to give them the best information and help they can get. So in industry engagement, I kind of touched on this already. It's data-driven to understand their needs. We build on the local business connectivity, stronger relationships. Business retention means less closures. We get real-time information from them, and we can help grow our existing businesses. There. Oops, okay. And then with opportunity sectors in as it relates to attracting business growth in Allegheny County. It shows how we're promoting our assets, leveraging our resources, and growing tourism sales by helping our businesses thrive. While the BRE program is specifically related to economic development, you can't have tourism without development, and so those tie in together nicely. And so this slide just kind of depicts how we are planning to market the BRE. I'm in a very soft launch right now, so we haven't done any publicity. I'm working on resources. We have a plan to put it on the website, do press releases and things like that, but we're not quite there yet. So right now I'm cold calling businesses, or in casual conversation, if I'm meeting a business owner, I might say, hey, would you be interested in meeting with me? I just want to tell you about this program I'm working on. And most of the time, they're very interested and very willing to participate with me. So far, so good. We'll see how it goes in the future. But I'm trying not to get overwhelmed as we're building the program up. And so these are just some examples of things that we've done with our regional partners. We've done a small business information event in April. That was with all of our partners there, was held at the Belmont Library. We also worked with the Buffalo District SBA to recognize some of our local businesses that were nominated for the National SBA Awards during Small Business Week. And so if you remember that press release that we did, that was kind of a big deal. Allegheny County is in the 14-county region for Western New York in the SBA, and we had the most nominations of any county, even though our businesses were not, they weren't winners, they were still, it was a big deal. And so the village and town of Cuba were recognized as by the SBA for that achievement, and we went around and met with all of those businesses individually and congratulated them. And then our most recent one was the Small Business Symposium that was just held at Alfred State regarding growing a business, opening a business, and succession planning. So this slide just shows our future look, what we're trying to do with some of the resources. I said we've been working on building those up. They are in draft mode. They're not ready to be released yet, but they will be very shortly, and we'll be happy to share those. And then as far as tools of the trade, there are some things that have made this program what it is. We would not be able to do this very successfully without things that you have already approved and allowed us to use, so we're very thankful for that. One of those is the HubSpot software, which is a customer management system and allows us to track all of the information that we're doing. So any of our engagement with our businesses, if we get an email request for a tour guide, we can track that. There's all sorts of things we can do with that. And then we also have Resimplify, which was the other program that we are tracking our real estate with. So our commercial real estate that we used to go out and look for by hand and then put it in a spreadsheet and then upload that spreadsheet to our website. All of that extra work has been eliminated with this Resimplify. It's very handy and we love it. And this particular screen is just a screenshot of what one of our HubSpot pages looks like. And there is a lot of information there, but it allows us to track our contacts associated with specific business listings and tourism. This particular display will show if a customer has any subscriptions to our email newsletters or anything like that. If we have an open ticket with them, so say they did a one-on-one inquiry or we have a meeting already scheduled, we can put that into the system, and this screen here will show all of our interactions with that particular customer. So anybody that in our office that is working with that customer will be able to see all of the interactions that everybody's had. And this next slide is just a screenshot of Resimplify and how that works. I already described how much time saving it is. We love it, and I hope it continues. And so our newest tool is location intelligence with Placer AI. I believe this was brought to the board a couple of years ago by Tim Boyd, and they did a quick presentation. We are able to utilize that information now, and it allows us to do a variety of things. It's still very new. We are still learning, so I'll have a few slides that show you the very basics of what I know, but we will get into the weeds with it here shortly with the company. But it allows us to identify unique attendance numbers at businesses and tourism event locations and where they go before and after that event, which is pretty important when you're trying to use that data for analysis. It gives you insight into the audience behavior and the demographics. So if you want to know what type of person you're getting at each of those events, it can tell you that. It shows the real estate optimization and informed investment decision. So there is a piece of it that I have not learned yet, so please don't ask me any questions, that you can select a specific location and it will give you that information and say, you know, if a business is looking at that landscape, what type of benefit they would have, what their customer base is, if there's any overlap. Like if you were to look at Target and Walmart, we don't have one here, but we do have a little bit of an overlap with the customer base because we have most of our customers may go to Hornell or Olean for that particular thing. So it's pretty interesting to look at. There we go. Okay. So this particular slide is just a screenshot of one of the items. This is the Balloon Rally 2024, and it's showing the heat map of where the visitors were located, where their home is. So not the exact location, but, radius-wise. So, and I have this blown out a little bit. You can't really see it great on the screen, but it goes up to, I have it blown up so it goes up to Machias and reaches the top of the county. So if I was to blow that out even more, we'd be able to see if there were visitors from Buffalo or Rochester in the typical markets that we think attend. And in 2024, there were 13,200 unique visitors to the balloon rally. Okay, so this slide is the big blue dot in the middle is the actual event. So again, this is Balloon Rally 2024, and it's showing you where they were prior to the event, then they went to the event, and where they went after. In this particular case, most of the people went from their parking location to the event and back. But as we are looking at more places and more things, this is very insightful and actually proves that they might be here for one thing, they are staying for others. Okay. So this last slide, what I would like to know is, what do you think our top 10 visited businesses in Allegheny County were in the last year? And you can just shout them out to me. Just want to see what your gauge is, because when I looked at it, it's very different than what I thought. So,
Swain,
Tall Pines.
Runnings,
Texas Hot.
okay.
Tops.
Cuba Cheese Shop.
Okay. Do we have any other guesses? No? All right. So, I thought I fixed this slide so it didn't do this, but I guess not. Okay,
yeah.
so number one,
Sure.
Alfred State College.
Yeah. Wow, but one.
Yeah, 1.4 million visitors
Wow.
in the year.
Now, that doesn't mean they're unique visitors. Just visitors.
Right, so it's 1.4 million, and it will break it down if we were to look at that and go through each one. It will show the amount of total visitors
Right.
and then unique visitors as well.
Cool.
Yeah. So number two is Riverwalk Plaza with 1.2 million. And then Tops.
Isn't it in Riverwalk?
It is. So you can, so the plaza itself is a location, and then the businesses are identified individually as well. Quickly's.
Please.
McDonald's in Wellsville, and then McDonald's in Cuba. The Wellsville Shopping Center, which includes Tractor Supply and Save-A-Lot and things like that.
Okay.
Then we have Houghton University. The Wellsville Giant. And Runnings.
Wow. I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, and it will break it down. So I only picked the top 10, but it does give the full count, and it also will tell you like the year over year. So if you're looking at a specific business, you can see if there was an increase or a decline, year one, year two, year three. You can look at specific dates. It's very cool. And then the little graph at the bottom, so you can't really see anything in detail, but the light blue line is our residential count. So this is the timeline for the year in Allegheny County. The orange is our out-of-market visitors. Out-of-market means a visitor that was here and made a stop for at least 10 minutes. So if somebody is just driving through on 86 and they don't make any stops, they are not counted in that. And then the little line at the bottom is our inbound commuters. So that stays pretty consistent over the year as does our residential count, but you'll see there's many peaks with our out-of-market visitors. And then let's see, so for the last 12 months, our out-of-market visitors was, does anybody want to take a guess at that one?
How many people from outside came in?
Just out-of-market visitors, so anybody that came to Allegheny County for a visit.
1 million.
Okay. So our out-of-market visitor for the last 12 months, the count was 1.3 million. Yeah, and then you'll see with those peaks there, right around Memorial Day, we had an out-of-market visitor count of just under 51,000. July 4th weekend, we had 57,000. And during Labor Day weekend last year, we had 62.9 thousand out-of-market visitors. So this is the kind of data that we can get, and we can individualize this for each of our businesses and do that analysis.
So with those peaks, can you, let me see if I can get this. Can you tell where those people went?
If we were to do the analysis, yes. This is just for the entire year.
Right.
So in this particular one, I did this for all of Allegheny County. And so it would not pull that data from where they were to where they went. But if we were to get into more detail and really do an analysis on an area or a specific location, then yes, we would be able to identify that. And we're also going to use the data to assist Keir's office in planning with some trail data to try and figure out that and get some data. So, I mean, it's primarily for economic development purposes when we're using it on a day-to-day basis, but there are so many different functions. And like I said, we've just started playing with this and already have found so much data that we just didn't have our fingers on before.
How are you tracking them? Is it by cell phone, credit card?
So this particular one, Placer AI, uses cell phone data. So it tracks so anybody that has their location services turned on their phone, it provides that data there. So it's not giving specific location data, but within I think it's like within 95%. So we can't tell where someone exactly lives, like if we look at that heat map. But it will be able to determine based on where that person stops for the longest time, like what their home location is. And so that's how they determine that data.
I can see by looking at the orange graph that we're not exactly a Christmas shopping destination. There might be some opportunities there.
Yes, yeah. Those are the kinds of things we're going to dive into once we get our training.
So when you do this BREE program and you're working with a company, they want to expand, I mean, this information, you could run some of this information and they could actually, because they might not know where the people are coming, what their peak seasons are, where these people are coming from. This would be
Yes.
very helpful information
Yep.
for somebody who wants to expand and doesn't really realize.
Yeah, and so when we do the BRE meetings, it is not a one and done. It is a multi-step process, and so we meet with them initially to ask those questions and determine exactly what they're looking for, and then we work with them for however long it takes to get them the information, makes them feel comfortable, and then when we're there, we say, okay, I think we're at a place where we can stop. When do you want to meet again, and go from there. But sometimes it's a longer process than expected, but we will be able to utilize the data for that purpose now.
So is this a yearly subscription for this software?
I believe the contract is for,
Ashley's shaking her head,
Yes.
yes. So
There you go.
That was a yearly. Are the other two programs also yearly subscription? Okay.
Well, I would like to say I am totally impressed, and where has this technology been all my life? But what amazing things that can can be done for not only businesses, but implementing tourism with it too. And it kind of gives that data that we always kind of thought we knew. And some of them we might be right, but some of them might be surprises. There wasn't one event up there. But shows how much of an impact it really does have on it and with people coming in. So I am totally impressed. I think the marketing materials and the things that you're putting together are very professional, and I think it will help pull businesses in. And that one-on-one contact with businesses, speaking as a former chamber director and so forth, is some of the best way to work with your businesses. It's more meaningful, and they remember who to reach out for. So excellent job for your.
Thank you. That is our goal, is we just want to be, we may not have all the answers, but we want them to be able to have a stable contact to say, oh, I know who I can ask, and then we can point them in the right direction if it's not us.
Very good.
Yes.
Makes me smile to see all this, so thank you.
Michelle, do we have a good listing or better listing of businesses in our area? Because I know at one time we struggled.
We are
for
still improving it, but yes, I think we do have a better list. We have been working on that because we have the CRM system. We would like to have the information as accurate as possible. And so we've had Colleen in Chris's office has been helping us contact businesses because it is a massive list, and updating that information as we go.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I'm here.
Yep, Dwight?
Yeah, very nice job. And I especially appreciate the handouts for us old people, you know, we can see it right up close. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I did it just in case because I know sometimes the technology isn't happy with
Long
us.
ways away.
So I think it would be interesting to have you come back in a year after you've been using this and give us another report and an update on how it's been, some of the success stories.
Yeah,
that
we'd
you've
be
had.
happy to. I have not had the pleasure of doing reports out of our system yet. And I would be happy to do that in the future.
Charlie? Yes, go ahead, Charlie.
Question for
Yes.
the public, I guess. It's, so if the Lavender Fest over in Angelica, or Heritage Days, Cuba Dairy Week, Garlic Fest, Pioneer Oil Days, how do they get this information from you? So, because they always worry about how do we advertise for this?
Yes.
Where do we put our advertising? So is there a way they can contact you and get this information?
Yep. So right now, and I can make this kind of a two-part thing. Gretchen, you had said that in our top 10 there were no events listed. So we have to identify some of our specific locations. If they're not already in the system, we have to give them that data. And so we are working on a list of events that we can identify in their system and be able to pull that.
So basically, we need to get you the dates that they normally have these.
I have the dates, but I need to, what I'll be doing, we have a training coming up in the next week or two. We have to work with the Placer AI team to get them that information. And then I had talked to Keir last week. He's going to provide me with a few GIS files, which is helpful for them. Once we have that list identified, we will be able to pull that, and I am happy to share. I just haven't gotten the word out yet because we're still in that soft phase.
Well, I know I was in some Angelica Farmer Market meetings, and they're always trying to figure out where to put their marketing.
Yes.
You know, where can we put signs, where can we advertise into whatever paper? And that would
Yeah,
be
the heat map
very,
is
very
amazing.
useful information.
I pulled one for Tall Pines ATV Park
Yeah.
the other day. I was just playing around, and there was all over New York State. There were some in Massachusetts, New Jersey, way into Pennsylvania, and I didn't even look at the entire U.S. That was just the Northeast portion.
Yeah.
So it's crazy what you find out there.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's nice to have that data to back you up.
Yes.
We never really had.
Right, yep, and that's gonna be one of the other things we utilize it for, is to look at our current markets and see if we're marketing in the right locations too.
So when you have all this information in there, since we're on video, who do we contact for this? Or who would somebody contact for this?
I would say that I would be the main point of contact in our office. Ashley and
number
I, there's limited users and
Yeah.
so primary function, if we have special requests, I'm happy to take those and see if we can do them, because like I
Right.
said, I'm brand new, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Up and coming process.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very interesting, thank you. Anybody else have anything? If not,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So moving on, we have a couple action items. The first one is to appoint Richard Zink to the ACTDC Corporation Board for the remainder of the two-year term, and I'll entertain a motion for that.
Havy will move that.
Hanchett will second.
Any further discussion on this? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. The next is to appoint Brian Perrin to the Allegheny County Land Bank Corporation, and I'll entertain a motion for that.
Ricketts Swales will do that.
Do we have a second? Any further discussion? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Do we have anything for the good of the order? If not, I do. I just want to make a comment that looking at the monthly reports, Rita this month had a success story. And Rita, would you want to just maybe come up and talk a little bit about the success stories? Because it's always nice to see and acknowledge some success stories that we have. I hate to put you on the spot, but I thought it was really worth talking about and hearing about some of our successes.
Well, the Workforce Development Board always wants to hear success stories, so we have competition between Cat County and Allegheny County on who has the best success stories. So this time we just bragged about, I think if you've all probably read it, it was a single parent who actually has a newborn and was going back to college. You can just imagine what it's like trying to juggle a full-time job, nursing school, and having an infant to care for as well. And she just did really well. I think she had some family supports, but was really quite independent. I mean, a lot of times we're doing lots of case management with these people just to help them hang in there and get their work done and succeed. And she pretty much did this really all on her own with financial support from us. So it was just an amazing time when she actually walked across that stage to get her diploma. And the bonus part of all of that, it was in a demand occupation, and she was offered a job at a local hospital making over $40 an hour.
Wow.
That's just amazing. I mean, how incredible the starting wages are for people in healthcare. So that's just one of many success stories. We have a bunch of graduates now, so they're all just waiting to take their certification exams. So they're not actively seeking employment, although some have found employment, and they haven't even been certified as an RN or an LPN yet. So that was exciting. Then just a couple other ones. We used the Allegheny County Area Foundation as a source of funding, and they couldn't actually fund people, but with some of the grants they had, they could give money to us. So we used $5,000 to fund 5 people in different occupations, and all of them completed their training, which is absolutely amazing, and now they're working toward finding a job. And then we actually had 2 youth participate in training, which is really unusual, and they went into phlebotomy. Who chooses phlebotomy? And they loved it. And actually, the course is it's already filled up for the fall semester.
Wow.
And so that was really nice. So now they're seeking employment in the field. But we have a really hard time finding youth that really want to be in a training program. We have much more success with work experience and finding them unsubsidized employment. So that's just a few things that we like to brag about. So I'll continue to send some success stories as we have them.
Yeah, I thought that was very good. I wanted to thank you for that, and the public needed to hear about those.
Thank you for your interest.
Yeah. Is there anything else for the good of the order today? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Ricky will move.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Adjourn.